All right, I think we're in business. Are we live? Let me know if you can hear me. This is the first ever live, so it's a bit of a test run. There might be some technical difficulties, but if you can let me know in the chat, are you hearing me okay? What's the video like? Hopefully the quality's half decent. The Wi-Fi in my apartment's a little bit dodgy, but yeah, I'll wait for people to join. I can see a whole load of comments here coming in. So yeah, I'll wait for a few more people to slowly join the stream. Then I can explain what's going on. But as you can see, the channel's not over. It's not finished, but this week's video haven't quite managed to get out the perfect edit. And yeah, it looks like we're all sounding good. All right, perfect. So yeah, instead of putting up half-assed video, I'd rather make sure we get that Netflix quality, the sort of the videos that people have come to expect. So this week's been pretty busy, and I thought instead I'll do a little live stream. So I realise I get so many questions nowadays, like Instagram DMs, YouTube comments, Strava. It's impossible to keep track. Like I can't even read the DMs, let alone reply. But yeah, I always get tons of questions. So we'll try and go through some of them now. I've got a session after this, so I'm not sure how long we'll be live, but yeah, it looks like we're all good. Yeah, can everyone hear me? All right, okay. Sounds like we've got people joining from all over. Yeah, let me know in the live stream chat where's everyone joining from, because I appreciate that the time difference is a little rough. I think in America it's like 3 a.m. Someone said. So if you're up for that, then that is commitment. All right, let's have a look at some of these comments then. Yeah, hit me with your comments, and I'll try and get through as many as possible. Oh yeah, Gold Coast Shakeout. So I've had loads of people ask about Shakeout. I'm still trying to just finalize a time, but I want to do a Shakeout like with Tokyo. It's hard to keep up with the comments now. I'm distracted by everyone's comments flooding in. But yeah, we'll definitely do a Gold Coast Shakeout. Maybe the Friday evening. The trouble is doing it just before the race. I feel like it's almost the worst time because I'm trying to lock into race. Like I don't want to be spending loads of time on my feet. But yeah, I've had a lot of people interested, and it'd be great to like meet everyone. It was good fun, the Tokyo one. So once I've got a time sorted, then I'll like post on socials or whatever. Geez, you've got people from all over, right? I'm seeing South Africa, okay, Australia. Yeah, that's pretty much New Zealand, similar time zone to Japan. So it's 4 p.m. for me. We've got some Europe. I guess it's early morning for Europe. Taiwan. It's mad. I feel like my channel is so diverse. Like if you look at the analytics, it's so spread out. There's no like one central country. It's literally the biggest mix. Pretty cool. All right, let me see some of these questions. Do you use AI for any of your training or diet recommendations? I've been living through ChatGPT at the moment. I think ChatGPT is unreal. Like, I say probably a month ago, I barely used it. But then nowadays, I basically don't use Google at all. Like, if I've got a question, I'll just hit ChatGPT with it. It's so good. So, have I used it for? I've used it to find other people's training. Like, I'll be like, oh, tell me the training of this Japanese runner. And like, if I was trying to search that myself online, it'd be impossible. But yeah, ChatGPT comes through clutch. So yeah, I've been using it a bit recently. How about a carbo loading meetup for Gold Coast? That could be the move. Get a little pasta, pizza, something like that. Plus a run. I mean, I'm always down for some scran. So yeah, that sounds good. Do you have any aspirations to the Olympics? That's obviously the big goal. It's funny, it's come full circle. When I was like 10 years old, I started running. That was the dream, like make it to the Olympics. And then I went completely off course, went down the MMA route, just switched it up entirely. And now it's come full all the way back around where, yeah, that's obviously the ultimate goal. Like I've said before, turning pro, sub 210 marathon, but those are steps in the ultimate Olympic dream. Who knows? Like the standard's so quick now. So for the marathon, you've got to run 2:06:30, I think. It's like it's ridiculous. There's basically one Brit in history. So it's Mo Farah. He's the only one that's actually ran the standard, and it'll probably get even quicker and quicker. So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but I'm just gonna see how good I can possibly get. That's why I'm hammering this training. What's your heart rate overnight in between sessions? So the only time I wear my watch is actually for running. So yeah, I'm like bare wrist right now, so I have no clue overnight. I'd assume it gets pretty low. I think before when I was in the hospital, I've come in at like 40 maybe, like resting heart rate. So I reckon it gets pretty low. How many hours of S&C do you do a week? Oh, if you include everything like plyometrics, core, S&C, gym work, like basically everything outside of running that's complementing running, I reckon it's at least 10 hours. So it's pretty much 20 hours of running, 10 hours of stuff to keep me alive to be able to keep running. Goal for Gold Coast Marathon. I can't be revealing that yet. You'll have to wait for the pre-Gold Coast Marathon video. Can't go giving spoilers away. Come on now. Yeah, I've had a lot of people. What's the time goal for Gold Coast? I can answer. Okay, how are you feeling post surgery? I wasn't sure how it would be coming back because I read online, actually through ChatGPT. I asked it, yeah, what's the usual comeback after like 2 weeks of antibiotics, surgery, all of that, and it said it can take a couple months to properly start feeling good again. I feel decent. It basically just seems like it knocked me back, I don't know, a month. So instead of gaining fitness, like usually I was hoping to like take that next step. I was coming into Copenhagen pretty decent shape and I was hoping to like level up, whereas basically it just knocked me right back to the start. So it's kind of like now I'm starting a build again, but the marathon's in 2 weeks' time. So it's just come around a little bit quick, but there's not a lot you can do. Is it warm in Tokyo right now? It's an absolute joke. I've got my aircon blasting. It's like 32 degrees today. What's that in Fahrenheit? Maybe like 90. But it's the humidity that's the killer. So actually, I've pushed my workout back. Usually, I'm always a morning person, but when the sun's directly out, like it's brutal. So I'm actually after this, I'm gonna hit the track for a little session. Best way to increase a mile PR, like so I guess that increase your like mile time. I'm not the right person to ask. I have no interest in the shorter distance, 1500 mile. All I can say is that I ran my 1500 PB during peak marathon training. So I reckon for me, it probably depends whether you're a fast twitch or slow twitch runner. But I reckon I could PB over any distance the week before a marathon. So like when I'm at my absolute fittest during marathon training, I'd run a 800, 1500, 5k, 10k, whatever the distance, just by being so strong from that. What obviously we've got a lot of questions. What was Seattle about? Again, all I'm saying is there's a monster video coming soon. I can't be giving that away right now. That would be absolute rookie error in the marketing world when it comes to the business side of YouTube. I've got to just tease you guys a little bit longer. So I can't be revealing what went on in Seattle, but it was a fun trip, a quick business trip. Now I'm back in Tokyo. That's all I can say for now. A lot of people asking what's your VO2 max. Absolutely no idea. I've never got it checked. I know you can see on the watch, like your Garmin app or Chorus app, you can, but I don't think that's accurate at all. You'd need to get it done in a lab, so I've never done that. No clue what it would be, but I've heard that it can vary massively. Like elite marathoners, it could be like 70, and then equally it could be like 90. So I don't think it's massively relevant, the VO2 max. I'm getting absolutely hammered by VO2 max questions here. Have you paid for your hospital bill? Yeah, that was incredible. The support on that video, with all the donations, I reckon we must have set some kind of world record there for the most donations ever on a video. Like I swear there was more out of the comments, more comments were donations than just standard comments. It's crazy. And I think it pretty much bang on covered because YouTube take a 30% cut, I think, of all those donations. They sly bastards. But even so, I think it bang on covered that hospital bill. So yeah, absolute legends. Like, thanks everyone for chipping in for that. Like crazy the support. Do you care about heart rate a lot? Not really at all. When I actually wear my watch, it's usually pretty loose. Like especially in summer when it's sweaty, my wrist is just like Yeah, you go outside for 10 seconds in Tokyo and I'm dripping. So it can't pick up a proper reading, I don't think, on the wrist. So it's sometimes a little bit off, especially in summer. So I don't really pay attention to heart rate. It's more just on feel and paces. They're pretty much my two indicators. How do I feel? Am I hitting the paces I want? Simple. Um, have you got any updates on Matt Fox from Sweat Elite? Just because I live in Japan, I don't have the ins and outs of the criminal system here, so I can't comment on that. I haven't had any update. I know as much as everyone else, but it's a pretty mad situation, that one. Uh, do you do Zone 2 stuff? I swear to God, I see this Zone 2 thing everywhere. I genuinely still. Can someone actually explain in this comment what is Zone 2? I still find it confusing. Is it easy run pace? What's Zone 1 then? If Zone two's easy running, when does that become Zone 3? As you can tell, I couldn't care less about the different zones. When I'm running easy, it's purely on feel. Like one day it might be like 5 minute Ks, another it might be 420. It's always pretty slow compared to my like race pace, but as to what the actual pace is and what zone it is, I don't have a clue. Do you make sure you get enough sleep when you're training this much? Yeah, yeah. Sleep and fueling, pretty much scran and sleep are 90% of why I can do this mileage, I think. I mean, I don't know, to be fair, there's probably a lot of genetics, like durability wise. Um, but I used to get injured all the time when I was in uni. Like I wasn't taking running seriously. I was kind of running for fun, like more socially. But I was hitting the nights out, like drinking, like just it probably wasn't the marathon monk lifestyle that I live now. And I would get injured all the time. And then I was like 100k a week maybe. So you think now the fact I've tripled my mileage and not had a single injury basically. I've missed what a couple days here and there for like tiny niggles, but all I can think that's changed is that I've got 8 hours, 9 hours sleep every single night. I guess I've got that MMA background. Like I reckon that has sort of toughened up my legs. Like I don't think there's any danger of me getting shin splints or the bone injuries that a lot of runners get. My legs are pretty rock solid. But yeah, sleep's the key. Don't slack on your sleep. What's a god tier Japanese carbo load meal? Any restaurant that does unlimited rice. So loads of the chains here for like, would it be 1,000 yen? That's like £5, $7, something like that. You can get. It comes with like rice, some kind of meat like chicken, beef, fish, whatever, miso soup, veg. It's unreal. Basically the full package, and you can keep topping up the rice in a lot of these places. So you think pre-marathon, go there, get 4 or 5 bowls in. Unreal. Like you're sorted. How old are you? 27. 28 in August. That is crazy. Do you do any stretching? I do a few times a week. So I do pretty much every day. I do about an hour, 2 hours of non-running related training, and I sort of cycle through. So one day it might be plyometrics, the next day S&C, the next day stretching, next day core, something like that. So it's almost every day I'm like topping up some area of recovery, strengthening to try and like prevent those injuries. Let's have a look. I'm seeing a lot of this Zone 2 stuff. Zone 2 is definitely a new thing. I've never heard any elite runner mention Zone 2. And back in the day, maybe like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, especially when I started running, Zone 2 didn't exist. So I can't see it being overly relevant I think you don't hear the Kenyans like messing around with Zone 2. I think they just run a feel. Um, when you going back to UK, I was going to come this summer, but I think now it's looking like Christmas time, December. I've missed 2 Christmases now for the UK, so it'd be nice to head back. It's not quite the same in Japan, the Christmas time. I think we definitely do it better back home. Do you do any upper body work? Nah. So if you've seen some pictures before of like when I was back at uni, I was carrying some hefty upper body size. I think my problem is that for any sport other than running, this is great. So I can put on muscle so quickly. like ridiculously quickly, just with my genetics. Like my dad and brother, they're the same. So I'd be ideal build for like MMA, rugby, whatever. That if I hit the gym a couple times, do some weights, upper body, I'm packing on like 10 kg in a couple weeks. It's dangerous, but it means for running that I don't basically want to do any upper body stuff because just carrying that extra weight slows you down so much. So when I did quit MMA and committed to running, I it took me probably a year and a half, but I cut maybe 10 kg of just arm muscle. So now I've got the little skinny runner arms, but I still look like a unit compared to the Japanese guys. Why are your miles so low this week? Jeez, come on now. I don't go off Strava, so because I had that whole time zone change, I went back last week, so I gained a day, and then forward this week, so I lost one. But actually, last week and this week will be 270k. Like in my training diary, like I just forget the time zone and purely go off like 7 days, 7 day, because believe it or not, your body doesn't actually know what the Strava number says. It's purely on feel. So it's a pretty big week this one still. Have you carried on any MMA training? Nah, when I stopped the MMA, I had to just stop completely. Uh, I think for too long I've been doing MMA and running. I've been like bouncing between both for oh like 6 7 years, ages without properly committing to one or the other. So it meant that I couldn't really get good at either because I was kind of trying to do both pretty much. So in the end, I realized that so that the turning factor was basically I loved sparring. So like put me in a scrap in the ring, I could do that all day. But 90% of MMA is the drills. So it's just like technique, the punching, grappling, different submissions, wrestling. That stuff felt like more of a chore. It was like almost like, oh, I've got to get down to the gym, do another 3 hours of grappling after my morning run, and I've got to run back later. And I was kind of like, oh, I was like, do I really want to? Because at that point, I was like, I want to go pro as an MMA fighter. But I was like, if I'm gonna live this MMA lifestyle, I can't have my job feeling like a chore. And I realized, oh, it never feels like an effort to get out for a run. It's like, oh, I'm always happy for that. So I realized, yeah, even though I still think to this day I'm way more talented at MMA than running. Like I could go a lot further in MMA than I ever could with my talent barrier in running. Uh, I realised that I enjoy running more, so it's something that I'm willing to like put in 5 6 hours or whatever a day of training. The comments are absolutely flooding, and I'm trying to get through everyone's, but uh, I'm getting absolutely spammed here. The I was worried you might have like 10 viewers show up, but this is it's popping off right now. Let me see. Is Yogi Park still runnable? Now, so what they've done, the usual. So you might have seen I've done some big workouts. I did that 216 marathon around the Yogi Park loop. It's like a perfect 1.9k loop. They've now cut that. So for easy running, you can still use Yogi, but if you're trying to do a session, it's lethal. Like you have to do some like mad curves, and it's so narrow that if you're trying to rip like 3 minute Ks around there, you're gonna kill someone. So it's basically off the cards for workouts, which are a bit of a nightmare. There's like one little loop where I did that Wings for Life run, the 1.3k loop. It's kind of like a big track shaped like that. I think for the moment I'm going to be using that one until I can finally get out of central Tokyo. Again, questions about heart rate. Now, I've never used heart rate ever in my running. Any sprint workouts. So what I do, instead of doing a dedicated like speed session, I feel like that would just flood me with lactic. It's not that relevant to the marathon, and it would take too long to recover. What I try and do is every day on my doubles, I'll do hill sprints or strides, like close to flat out. So I'm trying to get that little fast twitch turnover. And then recently I've done those fatigued long runs where I do like a 30k run, and at the end of it, rip like 3 by K just as hard as I can. I think it's helping. I mean, I had that legendary sprint finish victory, my first ever kick dub in that half marathon recently. So I reckon the speed work's paying off. Cart horse no longer. What advice would you give someone trying to run the length of Japan this autumn? I'd actually considered that before, doing a full Japan run. That'd be unreal, like seeing different areas and stuff. I feel like you'd need a whole crew though. Like I've seen people do those ultra running challenges. You'd need like the support van for like, yeah, constant snacking. I guess you'd stay in there. Like, you know, like Russ Cook, he did his Africa run. He's a legend. I was loving that. I'm sure people have watched that one. But for me, that would probably be something post competitive career, because this might be controversial, but I reckon anyone can jog long distance. Like, if I was to just run, let's say 5 minute Ks, I can bang out, I don't know, 80K a day. I think that would be 100 times easier than trying to do a 250K week where I'm ripping like a marathon session, a speed session, hills, some fast stuff. It's the hard stuff that's the challenge. That's where it's like the injury damage, the like yeah, that's the fatigue. It's obviously hard running long distance, but I think it's more of a mental thing instead of like a physical challenge doing the like the ultra stuff. How much mileage is too much? We'll find out. That's what I'm trying to push the boundaries. People have managed. The old school guys, they were hitting 300 Ks, and I reckon that's the aim for the end of this year. Get up to consistent 300K weeks and see. As soon as my workout starts suffering, like if I start just having useless sessions, clearly the mileage is then it's like it's gone past the point of diminishing returns. It's actually like a handicap. But I've never had that problem so far. I've not felt like I'm absolutely dead. So yeah, we'll keep pushing the boundaries. Got to keep training harder. Um, let's have a look. Have I heard of Comrades? Yeah, I've heard of Comrades. I was going to do it this year. I was actually weighing up. I was very close. It was between Gold Coast and Comrades. Um, in the end, I went for Gold Coast, but I could see myself next year maybe doing Comrades. Like, so for people that don't know, I think it's the biggest ultra marathon in the world. Uh, what is it? 89K, I think. And they go 1 year downhill and then 1 year up. So it's like a point to point course in South Africa. It looks legendary. The prize money's a joke as well. It's like 50K or something. And yeah, mate, I don't know why more of the top level marathoners don't try jump up and hit that. But it's something that I would definitely will do in the future. Yeah, I think it's hard to try and do ultras and marathons. Um, Once I move up to the marathon, I feel like I'd lose my speed. So yeah, I've got to be careful. Like as well as I get older, put in more and more mileage. I feel like I'm even more suited to the ultra stuff. But there will be a point when I realise that I've got no speed left, and then I'll hit the ultra things. So how many shoes do you go through a month? I'd probably go through a pair every 3 weeks. Yeah, it's pretty expensive there. The shoe fund. Actually, I've got like 3 cupboards in my apartment are just taken up full of old shoes. I've got to figure out how to get rid of them, but it's a joke. Pretty much, yeah, if you're putting, I go for about 800K is when I switch them. So that's, yeah, 3, 4 weeks at the max, and then I'm getting a new pair. Thoughts on John Jones retiring? Yeah, little MMA question. Oh, he's an absolute joke. Waste man. John Jones, the most talented fighter probably ever. But firstly, he got done for PEDs. So absolute scumbag. No respect for him there. That should be a lifetime ban in itself. And then, yeah, running scared of Aspinall. And in the end, yeah, Aspinall made him retire without even fighting him. So pretty legendary. We've now got a British heavyweight champ. Yeah, John Jones. See you later, mate. Donate the shoes to a local charity. Yeah, I should. The trouble is in Japan, that would be useless. No Japanese man on on the entire in the entire country has my size feet. You can't buy shoes my size in Japan. It's physically impossible. You've got to go online. So if I was donating them, like I don't know who's picking them up. Favorite fighter right now. Oh, I feel like I'm not so into the recent stuff. I'm like an OG, so I like guys like Max Holloway, Michael Bisping. He's my favorite fighter of all time, Mike Bisping. Um, who else do I like? Like even old school people like Diego Sanchez. Uh, GSP's the goat. Oh, I don't know. Let's say controversial. I'd say it's between GSP and Demetrius Johnson. You can't count Jones or Anderson Silva. They both got busted. Dirty cheating bastards. So they're out of it. So yeah, I'd say GSP's up there. He's a contender. Um, what's your shoe size? I'm a UK 11. So that's a US 12, and in Japan like a 30. They do it in centimeters, I think, and they only got up to like a 28 in stores in Japan. So yeah, everyone's got little tiny feet. I'm seeing a Japanese question. This is putting my Japanese to the test. I can't read that kanji, but night half marathon. Am I running it? Which can you tell me what's the hiragana of that kanji there? Because my reading ability is seriously lacking. Have you heard of High Rocks? Yes. No, I won't be attempting it. What's your race schedule? So pretty much from now on in Japan, it's virtually unrunnable if you're trying to run quickly. So from what is it? Pretty much, I'd say like April to November, it's just too hot to run fast. So the summer seasons are right off pretty much. Everyone just trains. There's some track races, but I don't fancy the track. So I'm probably, yeah, just going to get like a massive training block after Gold Coast, put in some huge training, hopefully go to altitude again. Um, if you saw one of my very first videos, I went to that high altitude place in Nagano, which was legendary. Oh, I've got Sota. The kanji says Toyosu. So is that a place? We've got the resident Japanese Sota in the chat. This is clutch. Yeah, my kanji's absolutely horrendous, but I feel like reading's less important because you can, when it comes to it, I can use picture translate. Whereas I want to be able to chat to people. So a lot of the time, because for a lot of people, yeah, joining, I guess you don't know. With Japanese, they've got three alphabets. Two of them have like 50 characters, and then the third one has about 10,000 characters. So even in schools in Japan, people can't properly read and write until they're like 18 because there's so many of these kanji, these Chinese characters to learn. Um, Absolute piss take of a language. Like they've just made it as difficult as possible for us. Is there any Japan scran you don't like? The there's one, shiokara. So it's like fermented squid guts, and I pride myself on being able to eat anything. But when I was in this homestay, yeah, in Nagano, like I was absolutely demolishing it all. Like they couldn't believe it. Like the nattos, the fermented beans. Usually foreigners hate that. I was just cleaning up everything. Then they hit me with this. Yeah, it's basically rotten squid guts, and it is vile. Like I can't explain how. I can't understand how anyone could enjoy eating that. But that's a no go for me. I tried it like 4 or 5 times. I was like, surely it's gonna grow on me, but nah. I'll do maybe a Scran to Japan segment at some point, trying that again, see if I can face my fear and overcome it. Any advice for ankle pain? Tibia tendon. I've never had ankle pain. I've had loads of Achilles, like plantar fasciitis, but I'm not too sure about the old ankles, so I'm afraid I can't advise you there. Come to Australia now for a few weeks. I'm coming. So after Gold Coast, I've actually got a 2 week little holiday slash training camp in Australia. So I'm hitting up Sydney, Melbourne, and then Brisbane. So yeah, any of my viewers from those places, then uh, hit me up. Yeah, and I'm sure I want to find some good little running routes, some scran spots. I'm making the most of the cool weather in Australia because right now in Japan it's pretty unpleasant. Let's have a look. What age did you start running? So I started at, I was like maybe 10, 11. I was actually going to do a video. I was planning out like a My Journey video. So all the way from how I started, like at 10, to then moving to Japan at like 25, because I think in my channel there's such a big gap I haven't talked about. People are like asking, oh, what did you start at? How quick you were at the beginning? What was your progression? So I was planning this out. I was like, oh yeah, just drop it like a normal video. I realized I had like 4 pages of notes. I was thinking this is going to end up being a 2 hour long full-on feature film. So I reckon maybe that could be 100k subscriber special. I could drop the My Journey video where I give you the full timeline, because I thought it's been a pretty cool journey to from starting to getting here, but it's going to take a bit of an effort there. I need a Netflix sponsor or someone to come in, hook me up with the documentary edit, because yeah, I don't know how I'm even going to go about tackling that kind of video. Yeah, I saw the UK Ekiden happen, so yeah, I know the organizer Anna. She's lived in Japan for ages before. I met her a few times and she's been over here. It looked unreal. It's gutting. I wanted to run it last year and then again this year, but the timing's always tough because it's just before Gold Coast. So for people that don't know, yeah, the UK Ekiden, it's like a new sort of startup, but it's becoming an inaugural event, taking that like Japanese spirit, trying to apply it to the UK running scene, but put its own sort of little twist on it. And they had a Japanese uni, Ritamekan, I think, fly out for it. It was pretty cool. And then a whole load of other teams like universities, Birmingham, Loughborough. I'm a Birmingham alumni, so that was pretty cool seeing that. And I'd love to, yeah, get involved with that at some point. Let's see what's so to say. We need to know if you're avoiding 5k races to update your PV, so you can clickbait that one. I'm not gonna lie, you might be onto something there. So if I was to run a sub 210 marathon, from what I understand, I've looked through a whole load of records, I've tried to pull up the data. I think I'd be the slowest ever 5k runner to run a sub 210 marathon. So basically it shouldn't be possible. My current PB's 14, official PB 14:57. That was before coming to Japan. I did a track race, and then I think I ran during my 10k PB on the road in Japan. I dropped maybe like a 14:45, but most guys that are running sub 210 marathon, they're like what 13, like mid 13 something 5k runners. Like they've got absolute wheels. So the speed gap's my issue. But yeah, if I ran a PV, then it doesn't sound as impressive. So my aim is to be the slowest ever sub 210 marathoner. Come run a park run. I was gonna do one, but then it's not popular at all in Japan. Actually, the record, so in history, because I was going to do a video like, I know this would bang views, but it's such a cheap video. It's going to be like, I ran the fastest ever park run in Japan. It's actually not impressive at all. It's like 15:50 maybe. So like every week in the UK, like hundreds of people are probably running that. But for some reason, none of the top runners do park run. I was looking at the Tokyo courses. It looks lethal. It's like these tiny paths. So they don't have one at Yoyogi or whatever. It sort of loops, like maybe 3 laps or 4 laps of these tiny loops. And I'm just worried I'm going to take someone out. If I'm trying to rip like 250Ks around there, and you've got these small little paths, then I feel like it's probably not the optimum place to run quickly. But if I run out of video ideas, then that's a guaranteed 200k views right there. Brisbane's a great place to run. Yes, I've not been to Brisbane. Like Gold Coast is right near Brisbane, but last time I flew straight into Gold Coast, so I didn't get to see it properly. But I've got a few days, yeah, at the end of the trip. So I basically run Gold Coast. Then I think the next day, my dad's actually coming over from the UK, so we've got, yeah, a little mini trip there. He's going with me to Sydney after for a few days. Then we hit up Melbourne. I've never been to Melbourne, but I know loads of Brits, Irish, tons of people end up going there. I think it's basically, from what the impression I've got, Australia's like pretty much the UK, but without the shit weather. It's like, it's nice and sunny. Everyone's got great banter. It's like similar culture. When I visited before, I think Brits can get on very well with Aussies. So I loved it last time. And yeah, I want to check out Melbourne and then Brisbane too. What's your height? I'm bang on 6 foot. Maybe, just about. I've not measured, but it's a controversial, maybe like 5'11 and a half, but obviously that gets rounded up. We'll call it 6 foot. Do you think your body adapts to more mileage as you hit it more often? Yeah, 100%. I think the more mileage you do, the more your body's just going to toughen up. It's going to feel easier. Like I remember at the start, like 100-mile week, or so 160k, I was broken. I could barely move after that. Whereas now, yeah, it's pretty standard, like 250k, and that's just conditioning. Or lots of good pastries in Melbourne. Now we're talking. Scran Central. I can see that being a bit like Copenhagen. I end up just absolutely cleaning out the bakeries in Australia. How was Seattle for running? Yeah, it was good. There was a nice lake loop, or yeah, actually all the runs are kind of around this big lake. Compared to Tokyo, so nice, so open. Yeah, tons of space there. I thought it was a pretty quick trip, like in and out. But yeah, I enjoyed Seattle. I definitely will have to hit that again at some point. What are your goals for any of the world majors? So I've only done Tokyo so far. London. Oh mate, I can't believe London. It's the only race I've ever tried to enter and not been able to get in. So my local marathon won't give me an entry. I've tried 2 years in a row now. The first time, I was told I wasn't quick enough. I hadn't ran a marathon. I think I'd ran a half marathon. No, this was it. Oh, this was so annoying. So I had the standard to run London as an elite, or yeah, as an elite runner. But then they were like, oh, because you live in Japan, you don't class as a British runner. Well, an absolute joke. So they were like, instead of the British standard, I had to hit the foreigner standard, which was like 2.6 or something. Like it's obviously all the like East Africans coming over. So yeah, they did me absolutely dirty that time. And then I tried to run London again this year, and they said I'm not allowed because it's too close to Tokyo Marathon. They've got some weird rule that it's like surely it can be my decision if I think I'm recovered. Like yeah, I could back to back. It's like 8 weeks, plenty of time to recover. But they've got some rule where you can't do two majors like as an elite runner. They just won't let you get in. So maybe next year, third time lucky. Uh, is he uploading tomorrow? Are you talking about the video? So now I've pushed. Oh yeah, I think I can't remember if I explained this. So I've not had time to edit the video. I want it to be like up to standard. I don't just want to put out a simple video. So I'm pushing it back a week to give myself more editing time, breathing time, because it's got it's got so busy over the last couple of weeks. The video that you saw last week, the which one was it? Oh, the sort of Japan running culture type vid. I got that one finished editing it about 10 minutes before the my scheduled upload time. So it's just things have built up, built up, built up. Because I've been putting more time and effort into the videos, it then just gets longer to edit. And then I guess you throw in a 300k week, and that takes up a fair bit of time as well. So I felt like I needed this week now, just a bit of a breather, give me a little bit more time to just perfect this edit, and then they'll be back to the usual schedule, weekly, every Sunday. But I feel like this live stream is good fun actually, because yeah, it's so rare that I get to answer people's questions. I never have time to check my DMs or ever reply to people. So this is a lot better way of doing it. How's the girlfriend situation? I'm on the hunt still. The issue with in Japan, so if I was to join like run clubs and stuff, there'd be plenty of opportunities there to meet people. But with my team that I had before, so this like amateur running team, everyone there was guys, like they're all ex-pros, like ex-Hakone runners. So just a group of like 20 of us maybe. So there wasn't a lot of opportunity there. And then you can imagine now, like my full-time job is basically YouTube, running. So that doesn't lend itself that well to working, to like meeting new people. Like if I was working a normal job. I need to go on one of those training camps again. Like last summer, I was in this house with, it was me and then 40 Japanese girls. Unreal. Obviously, that was the best time I've had in Japan so far. And that was for this homestay as part of the scholarship program I was on. And it happened to be that the homestay that I was with, because I wanted to be in this in this like altitude training camp, uh, a bit like Font-Romeu in Europe or Flagstaff. It's like the hot spot where all the good runners go. And the owner of this like kind of athlete dormitory place where a lot of the athletes stay was the family that I was doing the homestay with. So I was there for a month, and there was a whole load of teams coming in and out. It was quality. We definitely need a round two. Do you have a coach? No, I'm completely uncoachable. Surely you can tell that by now. Looking at my YouTube, my Strava, I'd like some input. It would be good. So at the moment, I'm trying to join one of the Japanese teams, like the company teams. They'd obviously have coaches and staff, and I'd love to get input. But I think I still want to have some say in my own training. I feel like no one knows my body better than me. Like, it's so hard for a coach to know exactly how you're feeling. And having experimented with different training methods over like 10, 15 years, I feel like now I know exactly what kind of workouts work for me, what mileage, what style of running pretty much is best. So then I think it'd be hard to give up that control to a coach. It would have to be a joint kind of venture. Oh, I see my sister's in the chat, Laura. Oh, we love you, brother. I thought you guys were going on a walking trip right now, but it seems like they've showed up for the live stream. I just couldn't miss out. Could you tell us about your time at Waseda? So yeah, Waseda's like a very big, pretty well-known uni in Tokyo. It's a private uni, but it's one of the best, I guess, in Japan. But we were there for just the language school. So like I got my degree and my master's, like undergrad in the UK, Birmingham Uni, shout out, that was unreal. And then SCAD, Savannah in the US. And then I just came here with this scholarship thing, and it was just pretty much like a full-time language course at Waseda. So it wasn't really like I was doing a proper degree. I was just with a whole bunch of foreigners in this language school as we struggled to try and learn Japanese. Any experience with overtraining syndrome? Overtraining, it's a myth. Doesn't exist. I've not got to the point yet where I feel like there's been overtraining. I said before, but yeah, if my workouts suffer, that's a clear indicator. But until then, I think I'm all good. What visa? So I'm in the process. Yeah, I need to update my visa. I was on a cultural activities one through this program that I was on. I'm on that until I think October. So yeah, I need to sort this out. Try and get there's a few different options, but there might be like an entertainer visa that some YouTubers can get, or I could go down the sportsman route. Ideally though, if I join one of these Japanese like pro teams, then they could like sponsor my visa, I guess. So yeah, it's a process at the moment. Oh, what did you study at uni? My undergrad was geography. Absolutely no interest in that, but it was the easiest subject at school, so I went for that. No ambitions of working in geography, so I can't say I've put that to use. But then my master's was business, like management. I particularly looked at sports marketing, and that was quality. I genuinely think that's helped massively with this whole YouTube thing, like marketing it, all of that. So that was actually, that was good in America. Any merch coming? Yeah, I want to get into the merch. The trouble I've got is that I think a lot of other YouTubers are way more like localized with their viewers. So I reckon a lot of the US YouTubers, they've obviously got the American audience. Same with the UK guys. With me, it's like people are from all over. So I'd have to somehow get global shipping because I don't want to be like literally taking in merch in my house, trying to sort out t-shirts and stuff in this tiny little apartment. So I want some company, like I want to do the design, make sure it's looking fresh, looking good, and then have another like company sort all the distribution, processing, packaging, all of that stuff to then get it to people watching. So I'm trying to figure out that part at the moment, the actual distribution, how we sort all of it. hit me up. Yeah, if anyone's in the merch business, yeah, and yeah, you know what's going on there, then let me know, because that's something that, yeah, I want to get into. Any interest in trail running? Yeah, like growing up, I did a lot of cross country, uh, and I definitely miss the sort of off road stuff. But now I think it's so different to marathon training that it would have to be something that after I've finished trying to run the marathon competitively, then I'd do more trail running, because it's such a different style of training. Yeah, I don't think I could hit both. How will you qualify for the Olympics? So to qualify for the Olympics, you've got to be. They've not released the standards, I don't think, but it will probably be about 2:06 for the marathon. So you've got to run. Well, you get automatic if you run a sub 2:06, but that's, yeah, virtually impossible. Only one Brit ever's done that. So they're even like Emil Caress, he's unbelievable, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's not run a 2:06. So then you have to get in through the rankings. It's like the top maybe 80 runners in the world get in through ranking, and you'd also have to be top three in the UK. So there's a fair few steps. Um, yeah, and then I'd have to battle the heat of LA. So realistically, if I'm thinking Olympics, I'm thinking past LA. I'm thinking Brisbane, because it would be winter. So that would be unreal. So yeah, long term goal, Brisbane Olympics, take home the gold. Let's go. What have I got? About 7 years. Yeah, 7 years, 300k weeks. Hey, you never know. It might be possible. Do you feel like you're running out of YouTube concepts? I've got a whole, it's like a 50-page document now of YouTube notes, like video ideas, suggestions. I feel like because my videos, they're basically just a week in my life. You're pretty much following each week my training as I build towards whatever the goal is, and the long term goal of being like pro runner, sub 2:10 marathon, making teams, like representing GB, that kind of thing. So that's never going to stop unless I quit running. There's always going to be a storyline there. So I feel like there's a never-ending supply of videos to go. Yeah, I can't be representing Ireland either. I think I'm a quarter Scottish, but that obviously doesn't help. It's still GB. So yeah, I've got to go the hard way. Are you moving to Sendai? Nah, so I'd love to move out of Tokyo. Even if it's just to the edge of Tokyo, like a little further out. All the top teams and stuff are more like towards the edge. Because right here, like central Tokyo, it's impossible. Like none of the runners are here, and I can see why. Because yeah, it's just so busy, so overcrowded. Even compared to like cities like London. London's a big city, but there's so many nice parks and stuff. Like where I live in North London, I'm right next to Hampstead Heath. You can hit up like rivers from there. There's all kind of places. So I feel like it's so much better running in virtually any city other than Tokyo. Uh, how do you stay consistent with video production? I try and keep it very scheduled. So I'm always planning, like I might plan 10 weeks in advance. So usually it'd be around a marathon. Like I'd have Gold Coast is the big one, or like Tokyo Marathon. Then I'm working back and plugging in each week's video. So if there's like a race week, then it might be built around that, or there might be a specific topic. Like last week was the foreign versus Japan cultural kind of differences. So I try and plan it out, basically going backwards from whatever the big target is. So I've kind of got it structured, and it means that I also know what I'm filming. So, like when you see the video come out, that's always a week delayed. So it's like 1 week filming, 1 week editing, and then the video comes out Sunday. Uh, so it's yeah, it's a structured approach. How many coffees do you drink? I'll always go one coffee pre-run. I can't get out the door without a morning coffee. Um, and then I usually maybe one or two during the day. I often hit up a cafe for work, so yeah, I'll get a little coffee in there. Yeah, and a question about an editor. Yes, I've just started working with an editor who's actually based in Tokyo as well, so it's pretty ideal. Um, and that's going to help massively to take some of the workload off. Like if I can free up 10 extra hours a week, that's a game changer. Because right now it's so tight as to fitting in like 30 hours of training, and then these videos are taking, oh, I reckon 20 hours. Yeah, probably the whole thing at least. So then it's so tight to try and fit in anything else. How much do you eat in a day? I reckon I'm like 5,000 calories probably. Like a solid, yeah, 5,000 a day, probably on average. That's just to sort of maintain weight. Actually, since the funny thing is, since starting running, so I started running properly. I had this hip surgery like just after I wanted to get into running properly. I quit MMA, and then I had to build right back from scratch. I had 8 months off this hip surgery. This was maybe 6 months before coming to Japan. I started running again, and at that point, I was the exact same weight as I am now. So running 250k every week virtually for 2 years, I've lost 0 pounds, 0 kg, just stable. Because when you're running that much, if I was trying to cut weight as well, that's like injury central. That would be lethal. I think that's why you see all the skinny little runners getting the bone injuries, stress fractures, all of that. And I've been pretty safe from that regard because compared to guys I'm running, I'm a powerful unit. Can you swim? No, not a chance. Hate swimming. As in, I can physically swim, but no enjoyment there. Biking, I got quite into when I was, yeah, injured with this hip injury. I could do biking. I mean, it was boring because it was a fixed indoor bike, but I was putting in like 4 hours a day. I was training basically like a Tour de France, like top, like triathlete or someone. Like, yeah, I must have been putting nearly 30 hours in on the bike. Um, but, oh man, so boring. So boring. Have you tried heat training? I'm trying it right now. I'm literally just sweating in my room. It's so hot in Tokyo. The thing is as well, like in abroad when it's dry heat, like I've seen in London at the moment, it's like 30 degrees or whatever. But in the morning it might be, I don't know, 18, 19, and then it cools down at night. So you obviously have the peak in the middle of the day. Whereas this is, so I did that triple, was it yesterday maybe? Day before. Anyway, every single run was 30 degrees. So whether it's 6 a.m. in the morning, 6 p.m. at night, it's still 30. Like, it's just, the humidity is a killer. Do you drink alcohol? Nah, it's been nearly a year. I think the last time I drank, I had a pint of Guinness on my birthday back in the UK. So I went back to UK last summer, nearly a year now, yeah, August. And one, or maybe it was 1.5 pints, and I was wavy. I was feeling that. So I reckon, yeah, 1 pint nowadays, and whoa, that would do some damage. With pathetic tolerance now. Um, do you do any sauna sessions? You don't need a sauna session when you live in a permanent sauna. Like nowadays, I just think it's too much of an extra stressor to try and do sauna training on top of every run being 30 degrees. Especially when I'm racing in Gold Coast, it will be 15 degrees maybe. So that's going to feel so easy compared to 30-degree training. So I don't feel like I need that extra stimulus of sauna. Whereas if I was running in winter now, like if I'm going to do Tokyo next year, then I'll do stuff like sauna to prepare for in case it's going to be like this year where we get a sudden heat spike. Um, so yeah, for that I'll do a bit of heat training for prep. Can Sota's asking, can we have more Ran to Japan Instagram reels? I loved the reels before I started the my YouTube. I was doing some reels like short form, but again, it's just another time factor. And I'm not gonna lie, I find short form content so boring in comparison to long, because you can't tell a story. Like, in my opinion, sport, and the reason running's so unpopular is in the viewership, like viewing side of it, pro running, is because there's no storytelling. And you can't do that through a couple cinematic reels or some fancy pictures on Instagram, like TikTok, none of that. To actually get to know someone and then therefore be invested in them, like care about the results, you need to have the longer form stories, which I think is why YouTube's so good. So I way prefer YouTube. Like I find it so much more entertaining. Electrolytes, yeah, I've been smashing the electrolytes since coming back here. Every day, I try and get an electrolyte in because I'm just sweating out so much. Yeah, actually I can't give it away. I was gonna say about Seattle, but I'm trying to keep the Seattle business trip secret. We'll save that for the video. How did you fix your Achilles? All right, game changer for the Achilles. So simple, but I put in these little heel cups. I'm trying to see where they are. Maybe they're in my bag, but tiny heel cups that just raise your foot up. So it's basically increasing the drop, heel to toe drop. And with that there, it just takes the strain off the Achilles. So like wearing shoes that help basically raise it up so your Achilles aren't having to work so much. Same with the calves. That helps massively. So just that tiny change, and then I'll do calf raises, like calf drops, holds, all of that stuff, trying to strengthen the calves up, and that usually keeps the Achilles at bay. Least favourite running distance, 5k and under, anything short. Are there public toilets at your running routes? Oh, this was something in America, in Seattle. Biggest culture shock. There's no loos. I don't understand. Like, if you're going for a run, you got to drop the kids off at the pool. How, you meant to just hit a bush or something? Maybe I'm just too used to Japan, but every park, like Yoyogi Park, 2k loop, there's like 5 loos along that loop. Unreal. So if you need to just hit a quick pit stop, yeah, you're sorted. It's the same like the river run that I do. There's so many public toilets, and obviously because it's Japan, they're dead clean as well. Like, yeah, you can go in there. It's like a perfectly clean public loo. Unreal. How much do you weigh? I'm like 66 kg, I think. The lowest I've ever got was during that homestay, because I was basically being underfueled because the family that I was there, they were cooking for Japanese female runners who weigh like 40 kg or under. So then I was trying to slam as much rice as I could, and oh yeah, every meal I'd have like 5 extra rice balls. But even so, I feel like I was not getting enough. So I dropped down to maybe 63, but that was like, I was constantly hungry. I don't think it would be possible to get lower than that. Mm. Will I upload this live stream? Yeah, I'll probably keep this up so people can see it after. It's actually, oh god, we've nearly been going an hour. This is mad. I've got to get going to a session soon. So we might go like 1 or 2 more questions, and then, yeah, once I end the stream, I've got to figure out how. I'm surprised it's been so smooth. It seems like there's no technical difficulties. But I'll keep the stream up so people can watch it later. All right, final few questions. I'll try and get some good ones. Best city for running in Japan? Oh, what have I? Niigata's good. I like Kyoto. Basically just a river through the middles. Unreal. Um, what else have I enjoyed? Oh, any of the more remote places. The smaller the city, the smaller the town, the better usually for running. Will I do more live streams in the future? Yeah, if people want to see them, it's pretty good fun. And so much easier than me making a full-length YouTube video. Like, this stream's no effort at all. I feel like, yeah, absolutely no problem. Favorite thing to do outside of running and eating? I love MMA. So yeah, I watch a lot of MMA, also football. It's tough with the time zone here, but I'm a massive Arsenal fan. So I love, yeah, watching sport. Do you have an injury history? Oh, I've had every injury in the book. Name an injury, I've completed it. At some point, yeah, I've had countless surgeries, injuries. But now, since I've conquered the mileage, I've hit the massive high mileage, the injuries have pretty much stopped. So that, in my eyes, is the cure. What kind of camera do you use? I've got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. That's what you're seeing now at the moment. It's just plugged into my laptop. And then I use the Insta 360, like head cam, you know, for those POV shots. Do you only drink water? Water, coffee, electrolytes, the odd little juice or whatever. Yeah, have you seen Run with the Wind, the anime? Oh, it's unreal. So I don't like anime at all. I feel like most people that come to Japan, like everyone in my language school, was like the classic anime, manga type people. I couldn't care less about any of that, but I do rate Run with the Wind. It's like a anime based on the Hakone Ekiden, and that was actually sick. So yeah, I rated that one. All right, we'll go last couple questions. I'm sorry, we've had so many questions here. It's been impossible to get through all of them, but I'm just yeah, they basically are popping up on my screen here. I'm trying to answer as many as I can, but it's uh, it's a challenge. Will you focus on other distances like 10K and half marathon during the year? Yeah, I try in the build up to marathons, hit some firstly like more quicker stuff, 10K. I have some 10K races, then half marathon races, and then the marathon. Like with Tokyo, I kind of progress through the distances, and I'm thinking probably after Gold Coast, then I'm going to target half marathon in like October, November. That's sort of when there starts being some decent races in Japan. It's not 30 degrees anymore. So yeah, I'd back running another quick half. All right, we're going to do one more question. I've got to find an absolute banger. Final question. Also, anyone seeing this after you're joining late or whatever, there will be a video next week. Don't worry, we'll be back in business. Um, do you watch Clayton Young? Yes, I watch every running YouTuber. I'm a student of the game. I studied even before starting my channel, all the other running channels, and yeah, I can't get enough content. So when I'm doing my gym work, my stretching, my core, I'll bang a bit of running YouTube on and have that going. Yeah, Clayton Young's one, the levels are crazy. He's got a whole team um, filming that. I need something like that. Yeah, yeah. Get me that Netflix quality videos. But yeah, at the moment, it's been a solo team, well, a solo run of YouTube, like that editing, the filming, everything. Just now, then, yeah, I've picked up a very good editor based in Tokyo. So hopefully, we'll be up in the levels. All right, I reckon that's all we've got time for now. So I'm going to end it here. But yeah, I appreciate everyone jumping in, absolutely flooding the chat with questions. Hopefully, I can do another one of these soon because yeah, I haven't got close to answering all of these. But we'll be back next Sunday. We've got a couple huge videos. I don't want to give any spoilers. I was purposely ignoring some of the comments here about certain topics. But yeah, massive videos coming soon. I appreciate all the support on the channel. And I guess till next time, train harder, not smarter. Let's go.